Go.
All right, second time's a charm. So, welcome one and all to DCL Prime Time. This is the show that's been making a buzz in the DCL community, I believe, and beyond, with the little teaser that we released a few days ago. And if you've seen the teaser, you will know that this is where we mix facts with fun. And what's more, this time on this show, you can put a face to our voices. It's been 25 years since this amazing league, the Detroit Cricket League, has started. And 25 years is a long time, longer than some of us have been here in Detroit, and probably longer than some of you have been around on the planet and are now part of this amazing league. And it's grown from a mere 5 teams to this mammoth 32 team giant that we have now, each vying for a shot at being champions of Detroit. So, on this special year, we thought we'd bring to you something special and exciting. And it's something that's new for us participants as well. Streaming a show live about this league that we all participate with such passion and that we all love so much. So, there's been mergers and acquisitions amongst the teams. There are some new teams, there are stronger teams, there are some weaker teams, younger teams, older teams. And to seek an opinion on all of that, I am joined today by a couple of folks who are known for their fun and frolic, both on and off the field. It is a pleasure to have with me Viju Zakaria from Team Gladiators, who needs no introduction. And the other gentleman with me is Parthiv from Team Strikers, who you've all seen or rather heard more from behind the stumps when you're batting. So, good evening, all of you folks. And before I hand it over to our analysts, I'd like to say thank you very much to all of you for joining in. Hope you'll enjoy the show. And this show is brought to you primarily by the technical efforts of Satya Velayudam, who you all know as the skipper of Gladiators. He's the guy that's been trying to work on the infrastructure and putting all of this together. So, thank you so much, Satya. So, Viju, welcome to the party.
Thank you, Avi. It's fun to be back, even though I'm 10,000 miles away. I absolutely enjoy being part of the show. If you ask me what do I miss about the US, I think the number one thing I miss is DCL. I've always been a DCL fan. And so more than anything else, I miss DCL. It's been my second family and many times my first family. So I really miss many of the guys. And it was fun seeing Gopu, who's my hardcore competitor on the field, but I have a lot of respect for him and love for him off the field. So it's fun to see all these guys. I see Parthiv as a competitor on the field, but just getting along and just bringing this together and making this come true. And our goal today and in the coming weeks is to highlight the performances of players and talk up players and talk good of people. And if somebody is not doing good, you know me, I'm going to give it left and right. So, but anyway, I just wanted to kind of bring out how DCL Primetime came about. Satya Velayudam has been bugging me for a long time about writing something on the Glats website. And I told him, hey, I moved to India, I don't have the time. But yeah, if you did some show like Jagan's show or something like that, if you need a person to talk, I don't mind coming and speaking, kind of a thing. So he has been working with various technologies. Finally, this year he got Zoom to work, and so he got that. So, but this is his brainchild. So let's give him credit for that, because without his constantly bugging me, it wouldn't have happened. So then he asked me what needs to happen, and I said, well, if I'm going to be part of something, I would like to bring the best into the thing, because I have always believed, and that's that phenomenon or that ability I've done it throughout, whether it's on the Glats team or anything. I've never been afraid to bring somebody who is better than me. So I looked at it and I said, if there's a dream guy I wanted Avi on the team. I said, he's the best talk show and the host, and he has a very good command of the English language. We needed somebody who can speak well. And so I said, he's the best person that I know in Detroit, so we'll get him. I called Avi. He's readily agreed. Well, then the next question was, we needed somebody who could do a good analysis. And I had listened to Parthiv's commentary, and I was really floored by the commentary which he did in DCL 2018 finals. So I said, I would either like to have Parthiv or Rashid. Both of them are brilliant minds, and they are able to analyze a game well. That's another guy I liked. I listened. I don't know him personally. A guy by the name of Satish Gaba, but I heard him do an analysis once, and I really liked the analysis which he did. So these three people came to me my mind in terms of analysis and things like that. I asked Parthiv. Parthiv jumped at the idea. So we wanted people who had the time as well as the desire to do it. Parthiv needs no introduction. He's probably the best player in this group out here, but it's good to have him on the show, kind of a thing. And so finally to be a part and with everybody else is really a wonderful this thing. So I really enjoy being here, and I am looking forward to talking it up in the coming days.
Thank you so much. Yeah, well, we certainly missed you too, Viju, on and off the field. And a lot of teams may not miss being called roadkill on your website. It is lovely to have you back. So, and I'm sure Parthiv agrees, don't you?
Absolutely. I think, the DCL is DCL because of, what Viju does. We missed him a couple of years. We had a kind of a low profile DCL the last couple of years, but I think now with him back, things are going to heat up. The so-called masala, which was missing, I think it's going to be back. People are going to be hooked on to the show, learning more than what they should be learning. So It's going to be fun. And for me to be part of this DCL prime time, I think it's great. I've always been behind the stump. So, I've been seeing people, bugging people, looking at their, what can I use to, gain advantage. So this is my time to kind of turn back and give it back to what I've seen and who I've observed. So that'd be fun.
Right. And I really think at the outset, we should pay tribute to all of, the players that have participated, and more importantly, the organizers of DCL, the organizing committee. Over the years, all the way going back to 1996. So it's these 25 years, a league just doesn't last for this long without a dedicated group of people from generation to generation working their backs off day and night to get this league going. So a huge shout out to the DCL committee over the years that have done a phenomenal job. It's easy to sit and criticize some of the things that happen from time to time, but to actually find so many grounds, schedule all the games, divide up the pools is certainly not easy, and it's a humongous job. So thank you so much for giving all of us the opportunity to play in this magnificent league, and also to have a show to talk about this league. If it weren't for the league, none of us would be here, and nor would this show. So thank you so much. And so speaking of divvying up into pools, we have three wonderful pools, some probably a bit more competitive than the other, but we've also had some newer teams come in. So a lot of exciting stuff to talk about on today's show.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the three pools, we had 39 teams going into 2018. I think because of the pandemic and, things moving, people moving, I think we've
39, you said?
Yeah, at 39, if I remember correctly, in 2018. Okay. But now I think we are 33. Still a good number. We've got a few teams which have merged, a few teams which have kind of found it difficult to field 11. So they've kind of merged with other teams. And there are a few newer teams which have been waiting in the wings. So I remember in 2018, we had few teams which we had to say no to. So this is a great opportunity for some of those teams who are looking for an entry in DCL to kind of cement their place and kind of carry on the legacy.
Yeah. So what do you think what do you guys think is the biggest allure of DCL? I mean, we have different formats here. We have different kinds of tournaments, cricket ball leagues, tennis ball leagues, T-ball. T-ball seems to be quite unique to Michigan, at least based on what I have seen. But I guess there should be a reason for why this league is such a phenomenal success. Yes, there are other long and maybe even longer running leagues, but DCL seems to be very, very popular. Do you think it's because of the fact that is it just the format that makes it more accessible to all the players? I mean, you don't really need too many special equipments also, although this ball is pretty much as hard, if not harder, than a cricket ball. So I think we can all pride ourselves on the guts that we have to face some of the quicker bowlers in the league. But what do you think is the allure?
I think for me, a couple of things. One is, the player, it's a shorter format. The grounds are pretty much co-located. There are games happening. pretty
Right.
much near in the sub area. It's
Mhm.
not as far as the Mishka ground. Some of them are like sparse. So I see a lot of that credit. Like people kind of tend to collaborate and kind of talk about it a lot more.
Right.
Also, I think one of the big factors is the way the tournament is conducted over the years. It's been a phenomenal job. People we've behind the scenes, a lot of work which has gone in the scheduling, the ground procurement. It's pretty much flawless. So people have
Right.
kind of appreciated that there's less work to be done by a lot of the teams to kind of get the grounds, get the balls. A lot of work has been done for them up front. So all those things I think help to kind of run this league so smoothly as it's been.
Right. And I'm sure, and we are looking forward and excited for another year of all of what you just described.
Absolutely. And this
And I
is this
think,
is the 25th year. So for
right.
viewers who haven't been tuned in yet, this is the 25th year. It's something which has been planned for a while. Didn't happen in the pandemic year, but this year, DCL committee has been, working very hard to, make it a grand success. Teams are going to wear, t-shirts with the 25th logo. There's going to be,
Nice.
much bigger scale DCL night. There's more sponsors. So there's a lot more than your typical DCL, which happened last year or the years before.
Yeah. And it's not just a milestone year for DCL, right? It's a milestone year for some of the newer teams that have joined us. Teams like UCA, we have Hitman, I believe, and then AR Phantoms, Micah, which I believe I've encountered in one of the other leagues. I'm not sure if Punjab Warriors is a new team. I seem to have heard their name. Maybe they are a returning team. And we have a team called Spartans, which I thought was a team that merged with Indus. So I don't know if this is a new Spartans. So maybe we can talk a bit about some of those newer teams as we go into the respective pools. So I guess we can take it up on a pool by pool basis, or we can talk about the new teams
Yep.
first. But I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
some
I
of those
think.
teams.
Yeah, looking at the three pools, I think they're pretty much evenly divided. Even though if you look
Oh,
at
you think
just
so?
even though like my the reason I say that is because if you kind of tend to look at past performances when you look at pools. So if
Hmm.
you look if you judge by that, definitely pool C looks the group of depth. There's like big
Right.
teams like GLC, CC, Gladiators. There's Pokries, and there are people who can surprise like MCC Miles and Rising Stars. Those people
Yeah, there's
tend to
MI
have.
Rangers too.
Yes, MI Rangers too. Though those
Right.
people have the tendency to cause an upset every now and then. So
Right.
even though they might not be like teams which are going to really dominate, but every now and then I do see them like causing an upset. So there's going to be a lot of great competition. So Pool C is definitely the pool to watch.
Right.
Big games like GLCC Gladiators, Pokeries. Those would be like really state showcase game of the weeks.
Right. So, and I think on screen we can see Pool A, and
Yep.
there's some of the familiar names over there. Dark horses. I remember they were a force to reckon with a few years back. I personally haven't encountered them on the field over the last 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, I think
But
Pools A seems to be heavily weighted on the Sunrise. I know so Sandeep wouldn't like that the tag of the heavy favorites, but I do feel like with the squad they have, with the history they've had the past few years, I think they're heavily favored to beat. I mean, go unbeaten into playoffs. I would be really surprised if they have an upset. I would see them going unscathed throughout. Teams to look out, I think, would be Raptors, FCC with the recent merger. I see Venkat Vadanala kind of taking over the captaincy, and I think from what I've heard around the DCL world, FCC is quite a few of the Falcon guys. So
mhm.
I think they've strengthened their strength. So I see them as a threat as well. And other teams, there are a few new teams: Thunderbolts, UCA, Patriots. Patriots is a returning team, even though they've changed their names. They are the Rockers of the older year. So I think, and then other teams like Dynamites. Dynamites is probably one of the oldest legacy teams. They've been here for a while. They've always been just year and about. but I do see them. It's probably their best chance to get into the playoffs this year.
I agree. Dynamites do have they've always been, they've always had a squad that you'd think that you'd just go that little bit further than what they usually do. And you said it perfectly. I think they're slotted in well in a good pool this year. They do have some good players in their squad. Their bowling especially is very strong. I've seen them crumble in chases in the past, but they can restrict teams to manageable totals. So I have, like you said, I think this year could be the year when they actually make it to the playoffs, and who knows what can happen once you get in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but as I said, teams have been loaded, especially, if you look at Indus Thunders, the squad looks so deep. I mean, the first question I'm going to ask Sandeep when I get a chance is, how are you going to make the 11? That's so difficult with the strength they have is to how do you rotate and, have those 11 players still, the whole squad be happy.
I agree. My quip usually about Indus Thunders and Glads is their goal seems to be to make DCL a bilateral series between Indus and Glads. It's just swap up everyone, and then who's left to play against them?
No, hold on. I have my favorite, so I'll hold on to when we talk about Pussy. So I'm gonna go this year with GLCC. That's something which I'm gonna go at they are dark horses, but they have always surprised me every time we've said they don't have it in them. So.
Coming to Pool B, Viju, what do you think? I personally feel KRCC have built up their team very well, and they're covered in all departments. They have an excellent bowling attack, and they have a batting order that is filled with people that are sensible, rotating the strike, as well as people that can just go crazy and hit everything and anything out of the ground. So KRCC definitely is a team to watch for me in Pool B, and I expect them, like Indus Thunders in Group A, to go through undefeated. Do you agree, Viju? Or
I don't think KRCC will go undefeated. I absolutely do not think so. If KRCC goes undefeated in Pool B, I'm going to grow a mustache.
Oh dear, I've woken up the beast.
Let me tell you that. All right. So let me tell you something. I'll have to grow a mustache then, because I don't know what else to say, or stop shaving my head or something. It's not realistic. I don't think KRCC goes undefeated. Personally, I feel that in Pool B, Blasters is a team nobody is thinking about just because there is a name change. But according to me, there is magic which has happened, because what you have in what's the magic is, Blasters is basically the cream of Blazers. Almost every Tom, Dick, and Harry, which was there in the Blazer team, is there in Blasters.
Yep.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, Hari Parankusam has come in and he has become the skipper of this Blasters team. And he has brought in Maksud, he has brought in Sidhu, and who else did he? He has brought in John Titus, and he has brought in Ravi Teja. And I think this is, what is that?
Imtiaz.
Well, Imtiaz has been demoted to vice captain. I mean, somebody needs to tell me, how did Hari Parankusam pull off this magic? All right. That is something. That is, this is like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. I mean, this is what Hari Parankusam.
I'm assuming they also have Hari, right? Hari Muralidharan, Hari Krishnan Muralidharan.
They have everybody who was there in Blazers is very much there. All right. So the Blazers team was a very solid team. If you ask me, that was a kick-ass team. And so now
they were a very good team.
So you're telling me now you're adding all these 3, 4, 5 other players, and Ravi Teja, he played with Pokris, you know him very well, and you have added also your ex-Pokri Shanmugam there. So you're telling me that team should just this thing. According to me, if anybody is going undefeated, in Pool B, it's Blasters. That's my number one team in Pool B. Maybe nobody knows about it, but Parankusam did a magic. And I have to say, man, Parankusam has been doing a lot of magic. The olden days, it used to be the league story was, man, Parankusam always goes on weekdays or weekends or something to the Detroit Metro Airport and sees people coming in and says, hey, can you play cricket? Come join Falcons, And now Parankusam has dropped Falcons and gone to Blasters. He has taken some cream players and just joined there. And then how can you look past Brownstown? I mean, This is a team, if you ask me, Rashid is the best skipper in DCL, bar none. I mean no offense to anybody, but that guy always, somehow or the other, he goes under the radar. He's a very sharp analytical mind. The guy is extremely good at what he does. He analyzes the game very well. He can come and play. He comes at number 8, number 9, number 10. I don't know. And he has got 2 killers on there, and they really killed us last.
Yeah,
In
and
2019.
Brownstown. Yeah, and Brownstown, I think Viju, not only do they have that old war horses like Rehan and
it's an old diesel. It's an old
Mujahid.
diesel. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
old diesel engine. But man, once that diesel engine starts chugging, there is no stopping that diesel engine. All right.
Right.
So
right. So
I
think
find that difficult to look after Brownstown.
Yeah, they've got this time. I was looking at the squad, and they've got a very good balance. They've got, as I said, the old war horses. They've got the young, the younger, the Adnans and the Talal and the Mansab, who took them to the final last year or the year before. And they've also added like a few from the Canton 11, force. Haider Bhatti, I think he was the second highest wicket taker in 2018. So that is also another great addition to their squad.
And then if you ask me, the Legends team, I mean, according to me, Satish Belmakunda is the best man manager out there. He has added some real good players to his team. Very low-key guy, but he's an excellent manager of people.
I agree. I have had personal experience of that. The guy he's a born leader. The guy commands respect without raising his voice, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of respect for that guy. He works tirelessly. He makes his team better, and he doesn't have any problems getting good players. And if you ask me, after I left, if you ask me who is the best manager out there to get form teams, I would put Belmakunda right up there. He has added Vamsi KK from this thing. Vamsi KK is a very good player, all right? In his own right, he's a very good player. He can win you a number of critical games. So, and that Venu Tikavarapu, he was there 7, 8 years back. He was an exceptional player in the league. I mean, he used to be the captain of the Lions. He's an excellent bowler and an excellent batsman who can stay at the wicket. I am not sure if the present Tikavarapu is anywhere close to what he was 8-10 years ago, because age takes away certain skills. But they have a guy named Harish Yalamachavali. I think that guy is a phenomenal player. I mean, he can win you several games.
And he's been in very, very good nick this year.
Very, very good nick. And so he's an excellent player. And then they have Narni and then Praveen Arikartla, who are excellent bowlers. So I don't know. I don't think you can look past Legends. And yes, KRCC is good, but I honestly feel KRCC is a little dependent on a few players to click. But I think Gaba is a good analyzer of games. They have Jasneet Singhs to give them plenty of good DCL experience. So I think KRCC is going to be good, but I'm not prepared to say that KRCC is going to go undefeated. I don't believe that, not even for a minute. If I believe that for a minute, then I'm 15 years old. And the last I checked, I'm not 15.
Yeah, well, it'll be worth to see you grow a mustache, Vijay. At least I'm glad I managed to elicit that.
Well, so, let's see if KRCC can make me grow a mustache. I'm betting that they are not going to be able to do it. And if they have the guts, I challenge them to challenge me to take that challenge.
Satish and company, there you go. Game's on.
Yeah, for me, Pool B looks relatively, lower on strength. Apart from the three teams which you just talked about, KRCC, Blasters, Brownstown, all the other teams kind of match equally. Legends obviously depends on who they bring in. If they get the likes of Harish and those guys to play, I know they are committed to leather ball. But if they play DCL, that would be a different combination.
That's the only thing. I have a feeling, especially in the nick that he's in, I'll be very, very surprised if Harish, he might play enough to qualify here, but I'd be hard pressed. And Parthiv, I'd be very surprised if his F40 team lets him go. But it'll be interesting. Yeah. But it's not like they're solely dependent on him. So,
Avi, I hope you're keeping a track of time, because we need enough time with Gopu and the others. So
yes, absolutely.
I know. Yep. So just that's your task. So while it's fun to talk, but I also think we should be aware of our timings. You're in charge.
Yep, I think we're good. Right. We're good so far.
All right.
Yep.
So we're going to pool C now, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I think it's the pool of death. And
Yes.
if you ask me, every time a champion has come out, it has come out from the pool of death, at least the last few years. If you ask me, what worked for Glads in 2018 is we were in the pool of death. In 2019, Gopu was in the pool of death, and Indus won the pool of death. The problem is when you are in an easy pool, it's puff pastry pool. Then what happens is, you're the only good team and you're competing against yourself. And that's what we had in 2019. We were in a puff pastry pool. We're playing teams, and then we are trying to set records, because I don't know how else to motivate our players. It's as simple as that. But it's a different level when you go and play some of the champion teams. And I think one good thing for which is going to be working well for Glads, GLCC, Pokeries, Rangers, Sterling Strikers, Rising Stars. There's no easy games, okay? Maybe AR Phantoms and a couple of the Micah, maybe they are easy games. All right, I don't know anything about them. That's why I'm saying maybe they are easy games. But this is going to be a fun-filled this thing. Whenever you're playing them, you're getting a chance to put on a show. So I think it'll be a good game.
Yep.
The shots have been fired. The new guys, you've been called easy games. So now's your chance to step up and prove that you're not the easy fish to catch. Yes, Parthiv, you were saying.
Yeah, I was basically analyzing the pool C, and it looks like, again, a GLCC again looks like they've acquired a few talent. Again, I look at their squad and see Hemant Kumar Chalwaya from the Karnataka Eagles. I think he's moved over to them. I see a couple of other additions in the form of
Manpreet and
Navpreet Singh, and then I think Hemant Kumar Bhardwaj. I think he was in.
No, I think Hemant, if I'm not mistaken, Hemant Kumar and Bharadwaj is playing for KRCC.
Oh, okay. So
but,
yeah,
but Manpreet Singh is playing now. Manpreet Singh is very famous in the league for having played in two teams. Once for GLCC and once for Megabytes, and we know how that ended.
Right. And I think Manpreet Singh, I saw him in the Punjab Warrior squad also. So I don't know if it's the same Manpreet Singh.
Maybe that's a different. Maybe that's a different Manpreet Singh, because again, in the Punjab Warriors team, pretty much everybody is a Singh there. So
right. Yeah, it's difficult to know if it's the same.
Yeah. So there are a lot of Manpreets floating around. So we'll have to figure out which Manpreet is playing for GLCC. I don't think Manpreet makes that mistake again.
That's true. I think the other team to look forward is obviously Gladiators. Another super talented squad, super in depth as well. They've got a bunch of players who performed over the period of years, and I think over a period of years, I've seen the burden which was there on Arjun, Ronak kind of being distributed. I think there's been a lot of performers in the last few years who put their hand up, so it's becoming more of a team game. Then more of where we saw Ronak and Arjun kind of take the most of the burden. So I see again a lot of strength there in the form of Muned. Then you have I forget the names. I'm just trying to pick up my notes here, but and maybe Vijay, you can help me here. You probably know your squad.
Okay, I know my squad, and Avi is not going to like it, and you're not going to like it. But I'm going to tell you honestly. If you ask me, the 2018 squad won the championship. But if you ask me, Viju, what is your best DCL team Glads has ever fielded ever in the history of DCL? And I'll tell you, hands down, pants down, to the 2019 team was the best squad Glads have ever fielded. But it's not going to get recognized that way, because it's going to be like the Patriot team, which went undefeated and lost in the finals of the Super Bowl. That's what happened in 2019. We were good on every single day, but on one day, Brownstown took us to the cleaners, and they took us to the cleaners. They took us to the woodshed and shot us in our head, and we were kaput. All right. That's exactly what happened. So let's call it for what it is. But here is the thing. That was the best on paper team ever. But what worked for us in 2018 is we were in a tough pool, and we added the Bridges players and Taif and company from I think he was playing. I forgot. He was playing for one of the other teams. But
Avengers, I believe, was
no,
the
it's
team.
not. It's not Avengers. But his skipper was the guy working in Volkswagen. His name is not coming to my head. But he was a committee member. I forgot. But anyway, so the thing is, we added them. And the good thing for us was chemistry. So chemistry was really good. So that really worked in our favor. And that's probably what won us the whole thing. But 2019, if you ask me, had everybody in 2018. Plus, we added Shan, who's an exceptional player who can win you several games on his own, kind of a thing. And then we added a couple more other players. So if you
that's right. Goku just mentioned the team that they came from was Arsenal. Right.
Arsenal, that's right. Arsenal,
yes, Arsenal.
Exactly. So the 2019 team, if you ask me, on paper was better than the 2018 team. And the 2018 team was better than the 2014 team, which when Glad's won. But what I'm saying is 2019 was the best ever. But if you ask me, we haven't lost a single player from the 2019 team. Mm-hmm. And we have added some more people, including Aditya Aital, who played for Pokris 2-3 years ago. And so we have added him to our roster. I do not know if he plays because he's stuck in India, but the thing is that,
he is. Okay.
I believe so. Somebody told me just a few minutes ago before I came on the show. But anyway, the thing was that, I mean, we have added some more pieces to this thing because we always have problem getting 11 players on game day. But we have added some more pieces who are exceptionally good.
So I would like to move on to our next side, but before we do that, Viju, a question for you, and if I may be direct because that's how you like it.
Yes.
How much of the chemistry you believe is due to the fact that your individuals are such good players on their own right that you somehow manage to win games with your collective firepower, and how much do you think is really the personal chemistry? Not that I'm trying to drive a wedge or anything of that sort, but it's somewhat similar to the soccer team that England used to feel back then, where they used to say they're more a collection of very talented individuals that pretty much enjoy playing together because someone's going to pull you out of the woods, rather than a genuine camaraderie that comes about because these people have played together for years.
Well, most of our players have played together for years, whether you take Arjun or Ronak or Anup or Hardeep or Satya or Ganesh or any of these guys. Many of
Ganesh
the guys
hardly gets a game.
Well, Ganesh qualifies, right? He qualifies. So you can't say he hardly gets a game. Every season he qualifies. So we make sure that anybody who plays a game for us, we make sure they qualify. That's the skill of man management, is you qualify your players. If you don't qualify your players, you need to go ahead. If you're a skipper, you need to hang your head in shame. Simple as that. You are not doing your job. So it's as simple as that. No, but I mean, coming to your question, I think many of our players have played together for several years. You go and ask Arjun or Ronak or any of Hardeep, they'll say if Glads is putting a team, we are not playing for anybody else. It's as simple as that. So we have terrific chemistry on and off the field. And I do not know other teams, but we have a WhatsApp group. It's active throughout the season. We discuss all kinds of things. We talk stocks, we talk, I don't know, fun things. We talk about a lot of things. So anybody there can get a lot of information, not just during cricket season, but even after cricket season. And we genuinely care about our players wherever they are. We try to support them. So I think we're okay. I think we've done a pretty good job so far.
Excellent. Yeah. So at this point in time, I'd like to welcome, I believe Venkat Vadnala has joined us on the call. Venkat, we're going to bring you in later on when we discuss the showcase game for the week, one of which you're leading, I believe. But thank you so much for joining us. So obviously, we've discussed about how the teams have shaped up. We obviously see some very strong contenders on the battlefield this year, and to get an opinion of how the league has shaped up for this year, I'd like to welcome the reigning champion and who now has the onerous task of defending his title from all these strong contenders. Sandeep, we'd like to welcome you on the show. Sandeep is the captain, of course, of Team Indus Thunders, who's had the privilege of holding aloft the DCL trophy for a couple of times now. So welcome, Sandeep. Good to have you on the show, buddy.
Hey, thanks, Avi, and thanks everyone with you, Parthiv, and Satya and Venkat. Thank you so much for inviting, first of all, and secondly, yeah, I mean, hope this show goes quite long and would be more exciting stuff. Everybody is more eager to watch in this, so lovely to be part of the DCL Prime Time. And
Thank
you
you.
mentioned about the DCL 25 years. Definitely a league which doesn't need an introduction, and everybody knows it is not simple to run a league for 25 years. So that itself says how passionate and how many people are part of this committee. And I know it's not an easy job, and it's kind of a voluntary job. And kudos to the entire committee and all the things that they do for the league to run smoothly and efficiently. And I think, yeah, looking forward for this year, and definitely it would be one of the exciting seasons since there was for the first time DCL didn't happen last year due to the pandemic. And I think wish everybody good luck for this season. And also, I would just wanted to call out like the situation in India right now. I think we really have to pray for everyone and try our best to keep everybody in prayers and make sure India and everywhere else in the world be safe and secure. And hopefully, whatever we can do from DCL, I think we should do that as well. So with that, I think thanks one more time for inviting, and lovely to be part of the show.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And I'm sure we all share those sentiments. Yes, it has been a rather traumatic last 1.5 years now. And I guess hopefully we can bring some cheer to ourselves and our families through this great game that we play. And like you said, hopefully we can also bring some much needed help, whatever form that help might take, to a lot of people that we may or may not know personally that are suffering from this. And let's just all hope that all of this goes away and we can all just be out there enjoying the sun, the sand, the grass, and the blue skies again without fear of catching anything nefarious. So good. That was an excellent sentiment, Goku. So looking at the field spread out, what do you think? How good do you think your chances are of defending your crown and prevented from being snatched away by one of these upstarts?
Well, I mean, I really, I'm not thinking about how to secure the cup or secure the winners cup, but the only thing is majorly I'm looking forward one game at a time. I don't really go all the way at the end and screw up the initial stage. So I'll just go with one game at a time and see whatever's coming. And obviously, yeah, we have some good additions. Only thing is, as we all know, it all depends on the game day and the availability of the players and how better we can play, irrespective of which team you're playing against. So I think you have to be cautious enough on how well you can manage and how well you can strategize the game. So yeah,
Okay.
I think
Okay,
I'm looking
Sandeep,
forward to it.
it was a nice diplomatic answer, but I'm going to put you on the spot.
No,
Okay.
no, no. I'm being very honest. I never give a diplomatic
So,
answer. I think Avi knows it much better, I guess, and also
No, but
Viju
I'm
because
going to put you on the
Viju is part
spot.
of the
So
crowd. I'm being very direct.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Sandeep, on this show, we like to ask tough questions and we want
Yes.
people to give honest answers. Whatever comes
So,
to your mind, speak it out. That's what makes things interesting, you know.
so
We could,
yes.
Yep.
so anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Here's my question. Tomorrow is the DCL final. Who do you think who would you like to have?
As an opponent?
Yes, as an
As an
opponent.
opponent,
Yeah.
I would go with Glads.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, why do you think, lads? Do you think you can beat them? That's why.
It's not about beating or losing, but I think I really get that sort of energy not only from my side, but I think the entire team will be pumped up. So I think for a final, that is definitely needed. And I think I mean, I'm not only playing against Glad, but I want Viju on the field. So that makes me more exciting and energetic. So I
And
We,
who
feel,
will?
Parthiv, can I share a secret which Gopu does? It's
Sure,
Gopu.
sure.
Let me give you Gopu's secret. Avi, you want to hear this, all right? So when Glads is playing Thunders, Gopu doesn't prepare any speech. Gopu is lazy. He's lazy as hell. Man, he doesn't make any speech. He takes whatever I have said and feeds it to his team. And they listen to what I have said and they get all pumped up ready to come to play.
But
And
who
my
wouldn't,
guys
right?
haven't heard what I have said about Gopu and the Thunders, and they are unprepared for these guys, you see. And then they find out on game day that I had made some statement, you know, pumping up the game or whatever it is. So I can understand this thing, but yeah,
Yeah, well, he can afford to be lazy when all you have to do is go read up a page that calls you a no good punk who can't bat or bowl or field. Or
no, the feeling is mutual. I mean, I think if you ask me, I think it's easy to give all the credit to Gopu. But honestly, when I think about Indus, the guy who really made Indus a real house is the guy named Azim. And I think Gopu will agree with that. Azim is the first person who did a merger. Believe it or not, he's the first guy who ever did a merger. He did a merger between Indus and Super Subs and he called it Indus Super Subs. And I had a hard time. I hated it because every time I wrote about Indus, I had to write Indus-Super Subs. And for a guy who doesn't know typing, it was ridiculous kind of.
Oh, so this
is way before you even came to this league.
Yeah.
So you know nothing about it. All right. Indus Super Subs was the first merger which happened. Azim was the man who architect behind it. But if you ask me, Indus is the house which Azim built. He really worked and toiled a lot. And I know that he was not part of the championship team in 2019 as well as in 2000. Was it 17 Gopu or 16? Maybe 16.
17 and 19.
17 and 19. So the thing is that I know that he was not there, but I'm happy to see that he's now on their present roster. So I honestly think he deserves to be on the roster. But it is the house which Azim built. And I have a lot of respect for that guy for what he has done for DCL.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you, Viju. I totally agree with you. And that's why we always admire Azim Bhai. I mean, I think specifically like all the team members respect and we know how good he is. And I mean, the thing that he gave us is not an easy job, but I think whatever we have asked for him and he agreed to it. And so that is the best part of it. Even though, as you mentioned, he was not part of Thunders, but he kind of like part of it, and he's always a champion.
Avi, let me give you the statement for the night. Mm-hmm. Indus is the house that Azim built, but Gopu is the man who made it into a palace twice over. That's what I think what happened. Gopu is the man who took them to championship level. So let's not forget that, because without Gopu, there is no way Indus is becoming a champion. Gopu is the man who knew what kind of players he need, and so give credit for where credit is due. Azim is the man who built the house, but Gopu is the man who made it a palace, and not just once, it is twice. And I'm telling you, the players on Indus Thunders, they are really phenomenal players.
Now, absolutely. And I think...
And trust me, Avi, if I were talking with this thing, if we were playing, there would be some trash talking, which Gopu will take and feed it to his players. But nothing is said with bad intent or anything. It's a lot of respect.
So Sandeep, on the contrary, like who would you not like to have in the finals? Who's your bogey?
Actually, I can say Blues, because Blues is now the new name is Spartans. Avi, I think I just want to mention that earlier. Blue is new Spartans, because we don't know. Something happens whenever we play against Blues. We somehow managed to, I mean, exception for I think 2019 or 18, we won it convincingly, but otherwise there will always be something or the other. That one time it made it tie in 2017, that's the season start for us, and 2018 we almost lost 8 to 9 wickets to chase a score of 70 odd runs. So I think there is something really goes with against Blues, except for 2019, which we convincingly won against them.
But there's something about teams like Indus and Gladiators, and these are teams that may stumble at the league stage at times, maybe lose against a team that you wouldn't expect, maybe get shot out for 50 odd. But then come a big match or come the playoff stage, you guys discover your mojo. So what is it that makes teams like yours a big match team or a team for the big occasion? Because I'll be honest. I don't think 2019. I don't think everybody was convinced that Indus would be the eventual champion. Not that you were ever out of contention, but just the way, like teams like Gladiators, the way they brought the power game to the fore, especially with the harder ball. And considering some of the performances, maybe, and I might be mistaken, but it's at least, but there were a few games where Indus did seem to have a bit of a hiccup. But then eventually, you guys were the eventual champions. So, what is it that makes Indus do this turnaround when it comes to a crunch game?
I think the best part is the preparation. Obviously, every team does the preparation, but I think the best thing, I mean, touch wood, but I think I get great support from the every player. Like whatever decision I take, it right from the toss. Like I do get that support, and if at all I'm planning to send somebody up the order or somebody down the order, even though he's a great player, they don't mind. They just listen to the captain's words, and I think that's the best respect any captain could get. And just leave it to the captain, like, okay, take this decision. We are there to support you. So that gives a lot of boost up, and that's exactly what happened against semifinals against GLCC in 2019. Because for the first time when we won the toss during the washout game, we batted and we scored pretty good. And because of the washout, the game got cancelled. But the second week when we played against GLCC again, we won the toss again, but this time we bowled first. So that was the decision, something we were thinking through, and I just wanted to bowl. So the support I got from Venkat Vadnala was the umpire, and he was surprised as well with that decision of taking like fielding first against a prime team. You know, GLCC is absolutely a great team, and Samish actually also surprised. So those kinds of support that you require from the team members, irrespective of how they play, that would really give a great boost up for the captain. So I think that is one of the best things that I have from my team.
Well, that's
So
lovely, and we wish your team the very best for this year. Yes, Parthiv, you
yeah,
were about to say
one question that's been circling my mind is, now that you already had like the likes of Jalaj and Manoj and Dinesh, all match winners. They pretty much kind of are the architects of your 2019 victory, and now you've added like the likes of Praveen Bangera. You have
Deepak.
Deepak Giriappa. Yeah, thank you. How do you see your strength now in terms of, do you see yourself even better post than 2019 with these additions?
I think it's pretty much we have the balance wise we have the same. There is like a couple of players who left, like in terms of like Sandeep Patil, who was one of the amazing bowlers, and he's a good batsman too in Mishka. But he used to be our opening bowler for 2019 season. He's out of Michigan, but he may or may not play games this year. But he's one of the good assets for the team. And similarly, we lost Drew Palmer, who is basically out of the town as well. He moved to California, I believe, and he's not part of the league. So there are certain things that we wanted to like look into, and obviously, yeah, strength-wise, definitely Deepak and Bangera. Yeah, everybody knows they are the pillars for knockers. So definitely, it's a great strength as well as great experience coming into the team, along with how better we can utilize is the question that I will be looking for. And if I don't utilize them properly, then I fail as a captain. So along with the other players who I need to manage as well. So I think that is a tough job, but I think I'm prepared for it.
One
Gopu, I have
interesting
some,
fact, which sorry, Viju, go ahead.
Gopu, I have some tough questions for you. Let me ask you this right away. Is this the greatest Thunder team ever?
Yes.
okay.
I thought, if you had said no, I would. If you had said no, Avi, please can I finish my question, please?
Sure, but in the interest of time, let's make this a rapid fire.
All right. So if you had said no, I would have said you the greatest liar ever. All right. So thank you for answering that question honestly. The next question is definitely the best bowling team in DCL, Indus Thunders. You have the best attack in DCL. No team has ever repeated since Megabytes. Can you give us a guarantee today that Indus Thunders will repeat as the DCL champions? I'm putting you on the spot.
definitely I would say that.
Yes
But,
or no, Gopu?
Yes.
Yes or no? Give us a
100.
guarantee. Will you repeat as champions? On the spot, Gopu.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So the remaining 31 teams has a challenge now. Thank you,
And as you know,
Gopu.
with
But,
you, I always love challenges, but this time you know me better in terms of like how I accept the challenges. So I'm looking forward for that, and I think challenges make me much more energetic.
Gopu, I expect nothing less from you. I am proud of you for taking up the challenge. It motivates me also to challenge my players to say, you know what, here is a guarantee that they're going to repeat. Now, if you guys say you guys are good, and if the Pokeries guys, Ravi Narala and company think they are good, well, and GLCC guys thinks they are good, well, guess what? And if Parthiv and Strikers think they are good, well, all of you guys have a challenge. There is a red dot with a bull standing right in front of you. Here's the challenge. There is a team which is the defending champion, which has said that they're going to defeat. Now go out and prove yourself.
One thing to add, this sorry for interrupting. So one thing is the best part of DCL is I feel is even though with respect to us, we see on field fighting with each other in terms of like how everybody thinks, hey, what the hell is going on? But outside, everybody is like close. And my career started off, with this cricket over in US. I have more friends which happened through a fight on the cricket field. And one of the best examples was Funny Gundam Raj. Funny Gundam Raj was he was part of Bridges in Lansing when we were playing in Lansing leagues. I literally we were holding our shirts. So that level of fighting we almost went until.
I absolutely agree.
He was one of the best buddies now. So same thing. I think it's like whenever I get into fight, I think he will be my good friend. So.
Very good. Well, with that, I am going to have to jump in and say, well, Gopu, it was a real pleasure. Well, we're going to keep you on, but it was good to hear your thoughts about the field that's spread out. And we wish you well. Yes, Parthiv. 30 seconds.
Parting thought. Yeah, one parting thought. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I think Indus Thunder is the only team which has a father and a son playing together in the same squad, which is quite interesting in DCL history.
Yes.
Wait, what was that?
Yeah,
they have
the Segals are playing together.
Well, that's lovely.
So, it's going to be interesting when comes some selection time. You get my point? If you pick the father, you got to pick the son too. Anyway, that's Gopu's problem. Anyway, we'll leave it to him.
Great. Well, we do have the league officially kicking off this weekend. It's been a long wait. But I'm sure all of us are excited to get back on the field. And for those of us that aren't playing this weekend, at least it'll be a chance to see how the various teams go and get a boost from their performances. So I'd like to go through the predictions with our analysts today, as well as our guest, Sandeep. We do have the captains from what we believe is the showcase game of the week joining us for tonight's show.
I see Venkat.
Yes. So we
Vijay
already have Venkat here. I believe Vijay just joined the call as well.
Fantastic.
So Vijay, great to have you. We will bring you guys on to lock horns in a little bit, but we just asked you to be a little bit patient for the next few minutes while the four of us go through the predictions for this weekend. So starting off,
four of us plus Gopu.
Yes, of course. And is Satya going to chime in as well?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So he's been a bit of a diminutive presence so far, but I'm glad to have his voice ring out as well. So starting off with Dark Horses versus Indus Thunders, I believe that's a bit of a no-brainer for me. It is going to be the Thunders that are going to romp home. I'm assuming you guys agree. What do you guys think, Parthiv?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a one-sided affair. It all depends on who bats first. If Dark Horses bat first, and I hope they bat first, they'll be going with a slightly lesser pain as compared to if Indus Thunders wins the toss and bats them and takes them to the cleaners. So for Dark Horses' sake, I would say win the toss, bat, and hope for the best.
Yeah, Satya, what do you think?
I'd go with the Indus Thunders. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Yeah.
And Viju?
Well, the last time I checked, horses were not allowed inside a palace, and the palace is
Oh
the
my
one
goodness.
which Gopu has built, and the horses will not be allowed inside inside the palace. So I do believe that the dark horses will be hiding for cover in some dark corner of the palace in the grounds. Game, set, and match. Indus Thunders.
Wow. Well, Gopu, there you go. So this is probably a prediction that you can make come alive. Patriots versus UCA. UCA, I know, are the newer kids on the block, but I did play them in the spring tournament, and they do seem to be a decent outfit, especially suited to this form of the game. They have some promising talent, but I do believe that the Patriots have it in them to put it past the UCA. I know Patriots have lost maybe one or two people. I know Pana is no longer with them, but I still think they can put it past UCA. Do you guys agree, Parthiv?
Yeah, I think this should be Patriots game easily. No, having no clue of UCA, I think that's one reason I heavily weigh towards Patriot. But it'll be interesting to see UCA and see their first week performance to kind of start gauging them next week onwards.
Right.
I'll go with Patriots because the main thing is the experience when it comes to T-ball. So, yeah.
What about Gopu? I think we need to ask Gopu too.
Oh,
Because
yes.
Yeah, the first game was in this game. So
Yeah, the first game was his team, so that's why I skipped it. But I'm assuming he's going to vote for his own team. So,
Yeah, I mean, for this one, definitely I will vote for Patriots as well.
Right.
Well, last I checked, I was a Patriot fan. So one Patriot has to show love for another Patriot. I do believe that UCA will eat humble pie prepared deliciously by the Patriots chef. Game, set, and match, Patriots.
Great. The next one is a bit of a tough one for me because I am personally not familiar with either team. Safaris versus Thunderbolts. I'm just going to go with Thunderbolts because they're the team I think I've heard of twice rather than the ones that I've heard of the Safaris. I really don't have a very concrete reason, so I'm just going to hand it over to you guys.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the battle of the basement. To be honest, put two teams who I see battling out for the the last few spots in the pool, and that makes it interesting. It's a match of equals from that
Right.
perspective. So it might go. It might be a good game after all.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'll go with Safaris. So they
Oh, you
had a
will?
couple of peoples, even though they were at the bottom of the table last year, like in 2019, but now they added a lot of people. So I feel Safaris can pull this game easily.
Gopu?
Gopu, sorry.
I will go with Thunderbolts because only one reason I don't know both the teams that much, but Thunderbolts was my team name that I had built up in Lansing. That's the reason we have Indus Thunders and Indus Bolts got split up.
Okay.
So, I mean, after all, we had a voting, but ultimately the Thunderbolts. So that's why I pick up Thunderbolts for this game.
Very interesting bit of trivia there. Yeah. Viju, I'll always have you go last because I want you to spice it up.
Yeah, I mean, also we are going in alphabetical order, so I do come last. So that's why we want to maintain that same order. But Safaris versus Thunderbolts. Safaris, as far as I'm concerned, has 1 year of experience, while Thunderbolts has got 0 years of experience. Last I checked, Shunya, Zero, Zippo, Zilch. 0 experience doesn't get you anything. In mathematics, 1 beats 0 every single time. So for that reason, honestly, I know very little about both teams. So I'm going to go with the team which has a teeny weeny bit of experience. So I'm going to go with Safaris. I'm not fully convinced about it, but that's the best that I can do. I'm going with the mathematics on this one, 1 versus 0.
Great. Well, just based on what we've heard, the next game, Blasters versus FCC Agni, I'm afraid Ramesh's team is going to get blasted away by the Blasters.
I think we're going past the Dynamites FCC, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We are doing that last because that's the showcase game of the week.
All right. Yeah, I from my point of view, this should be Blasters game. As we touched upon, Blasters have a really strong roster. They've got likes of from the original Blasters team. They've got Falcon guys, so they've built up a really strong squad, and I expect them to really blast FCC off the planet.
Well, yeah. So we've heard the rationale from Parthiv. So Satya, do you agree? Yes or no?
It's going to be a good game because I know Blasters added a couple of people, but again the chemistry will come into place. But yeah, Agni has good chemistry in that case, but still I hope Blasters will be winning the game.
Right. Gopu, what do you think?
I take Blasters as well. Yeah, because pretty much everybody's seeing Blazers plus new players as Blasters, but pretty much this is from the FCC, which we know as Stars, who won the cup. So majority, I can say, except for a few of them who play for Pokeries, but I think they really have a great team. So I think this is one of the teams to look for.
Right.
Well, Avi, if this was Blazers versus Agni, I would have picked Blazers because those Blazer boys are very capable players. I have a lot of respect for those guys for their ability. But this new Blasters unit is supposed to have the best of Blazers and also some cream players from Falcons. And you have also added Shan and Ravi Teja from Pokeries and Knockers. So if Blasters don't win, then I'm going to blame the chef Hari Parankusham. And if Blasters win, then Hari Parankusham has made a world famous recipe overnight. So I'm going to pick Blasters' special recipe to tickle my taste buds on game day. So I'm pure Hari Parankusam and you're listening. Come on, Hari, show me what you got. I like it spicy. Keep it spicy, baby. I am blasting with the Blasters on this one.
I'd personally say that it wouldn't be all that bad to see, again, a team that's been formed through merger and acquisition to actually to have it put past them by a team that's long-standing and been going on for a while as a unit. But then again, you could put it down to sour grapes or maybe just wishful thinking, whatever. But it looks like it is Blasters that will most likely trump against Agni. KRCC versus Spartans. This one, well, considering I actually elicited that response from Viju, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's going to be KRCC.
Yeah, I vote for KRCC as well. And I think this might be a good chance for them early on to use their bench strength, test some of the new people and their chemistry. And I think that's going to be the key, how well these teams like KRCC and Blasters and, some of these merger and acquisition teams kind of shape up and, kind of find that balance before playoff comes in. So KRCC definitely trumps this game. It'd be interesting to see what 11 they field.
Right.
I'm going with KRCC, but we have to see they have good people who all will show up on that game day. So.
True.
I'll pick Spartans for this, as I somehow predict this might be a close game or a good game to watch. And everybody thinks Spartans is the old Blues, but I definitely feel there are great additions in there as well. So Spartans is one of the teams can surprise anybody on a given day. So I pick Spartans.
Not just sentimentally because half your team used to be a team called Spartans?
No. not this time.
Spartans have a big hitter named Nadeem Khan, who came recommended to me even before he landed in Detroit as somebody, if Glads was interested, kind of a thing. But I did not know Nadeem. But he has a big reputation as a huge hitter, even before he landed in Detroit. And if Nadeem Khan thinks he's a big hitter, then I want him to meet my friend Maulik Patel. Because if you ask me, my friend Maulik Patel is one of the biggest hitters T-ball has ever seen. And so I will take Gaba and the brain power of Jasneet and Yogesh Mittal with his personal magic, my big hitter Maulik Patel, and my favorite magician in DCL, Ronnie Patel, to comfortably beat Spartans. I believe Ronnie's voodoo magic gets Spartans. So give me a generous helping of KRCC.
Right. Brownstown, I have a feeling, will outpower Detroit Bulls. Detroit Bulls were overly dependent on Neil or Neelakantan up till about a couple of years ago, then when he made the transition to Pokeries. So, and ever since then, I have a feeling that they haven't quite gotten their game together. I know Tanuj will try his best to try and make his team perform, but I have a feeling Brownstown have this one down quite comfortably.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean on Detroit Bulls here simply because knowing the history from the DCL, Brownstown is always a sluggish starter. They
Okay.
always start slow. They always have player availability, which is in question. The likes of Mansab, Adnan, Talal don't show up very early on in the season. They're pretty much busy with other leagues, and Brownstown always has kind of a mixed bag early on starting. So I think I would give Detroit Bulls a really good chance to cause an upset here.
Okay.
I'm hoping they prove me right. So let's see.
I go with Brownstown. So yeah, we know them, but on the game day, Rashid Bhai will bring most of his players. So I go with Brownstown.
Gopu?
I will go with Brownstown.
All right. Viju?
Well, this was the other game getting one vote for showcase game of the week. For those who
That's
do not know, we do have a voting process to decide who should get the honor of being the showcase game of the week. FCC versus Dynamite got 3 votes, and the lone vote for showcase game of the week was Brownstown versus Bulls. I do believe that this will be an interesting game. My gut says it will be a close game. Bulls, I do believe, have lost Neil, and that is a huge loss. Bulls also have a skipper change and no way to figure out if Tanuj can take Bulls to a greater height than what Gino had already taken them. Brownstown always starts the season super slow, and this could be anyone's game, but the loss of Neil and a skipper change, I think, is a little too much. I want to wait before I jump into the bandwagon that Tanuj is driving. For the moment, I prefer to park my posterior in the Brownstown double-decker bus. So, Brownstown for me.
Well, let's hope that Rashid does enjoy that. And Legends versus Hitmen, I have a feeling, despite their name, the real Hitmen are actually parked on the Legends.
Yeah.
And I foresee a Legends victory this weekend.
Yeah, for me too. I think Hitmen, knowing nothing about them, and Legends being an experienced team, have considerable talent already built up. So should be a cakewalk for Legends. Again, my advice for Hitmen: win the toss, bat first.
Right. Satya?
I go with Legends, guys. So that's the easy pick there.
Okay. Gopu?
I'll pick Legends too, but as we don't know Hitman team, and yeah, let's hope it would be a good game. But seems on the paper, Legends all the way.
Right. And Vijay to round it off.
Only a fool will pick against Belamakonda, who I think is one of the best game managers and team managers in the business. I'll take a generous double helping of the Legends rich chocolate cake that Belamakonda has been serving. Hitman Ko, Golimar. That would be what I would say. Hitman Ko, Golimar, Legends all the way, baby.
All right. Well, we're going to go through the next few ones a bit quickly because we want to get to our showcase game of the week and spend some time on there. So I'm sorry, Parthiv. Yes, you were.
No, I instead of the Golimar, I was going to say Hitman. I think they're a bunch of 11 Rohit Sharma fans. So.
Well, let's see if they can replicate their idol in any way, at least one of them. Well, AR Phantoms versus GLCC, I think, again, this is another no-brainer. AR Phantoms, the unknown entity for this weekend, and I am inclined to go with the tried and tested GLCC.
Absolutely. We played a practice game with AR Phantoms, so I got a glimpse of what to expect. And I definitely see GLCC winning it hands down, really, really, really easily. So they should be home by noon.
Ah, wow. Okay. The rest of you agree with that, Satya?
Yeah, it's an easy win for GLCC.
Okay. Gopu?
Yeah.
Yep. GLCC all the way.
And Viju?
Well, this will be the biggest lopsided game of the week, according to me. I grew up on Phantom comics, and not sure how many in the current generation have read those Phantom comics, but there is an old jungle saying which said, the Phantom moves faster than a great cat and the power of a charging bull elephant. I'll tell you one thing. On game day, I can assure you that GLCC will be the great charging bull elephant. And the AR Phantoms, I don't even know what AR stands for in their name. Maybe it stands for alternate reality or augmented reality. But let me tell you, ground reality and alternate reality or augmented reality are totally different things. AR Phantoms will be screaming with each maximum, which is going to be deposited outside the park. Ye haath, you know that I'm sure Parthiv remembers this Sunny
Sunny
Deol,
Deol,
right?
The ढाई
Yeah,
किलो का हाथ.
ye haath,
ढाई किलो का हाथ.
ढाई किलो का answer coming back to me. You know, this is the ढाई किलो हाथ, and आदमी उठता नहीं, उठ जाता है, and AR Phantoms will be उठ जाएंगे. You know, sorry, my Hindi is not that good, but you get the point. There will be AR Phantoms will be this thing game set and match GLCC. There is no way in hell GLCC is losing this game.
Despite the questionable Hindi, I'm sure it's been laid on super thick on them. So AR Phantoms, welcome not just to DCL but also to DCL Prime Time, and it's and then MCC Miles versus Sterling Strikers. Miles, I'd like to think that they have got this one. And I am not personally very aware of Sterling Strikers, and I know MCC Miles heavily depend on someone like a Sanjay to hit them into a winning position. But I'd like to give this one to MCC Miles.
Yeah, I for me this was another one which is a close showcase game of the week. Probably because they are probably equals. Again, the fact Sanjay is probably the game changer. MCC Miles get Sanjay, and you probably have a very good chance. Sterling Strikers is the old F8CC team. They basically have rebranded themselves. So I think apart from Sanjay, so if Sanjay is available and he knocks it out of the park, he gets few runs, he gets few wickets. I think it's MCC Miles, but it's going to be a close game. So for me, I think with Sanjay, I think I go with MCC Miles here.
Right, Satya?
I go with MCC Miles. So I don't know really FHCC, I know, but Sterling Strikers, how many new players are going to come in? So we have to see in the next weeks. So, but yeah, this time it should be Miles.
Gopu, I'm assuming you affirm that it's going to be MCC Miles as well?
I mean, FHCC is renamed as Sterling Strikers with some great additions, is what I heard. And MCC Miles, I'm just challenging Ram Saladi here. If at all you're playing Venkat Kongara, that's something you have the game in place. If not, I think you're losing on against the Sterling Strikers. So please make sure Venkat Kongara plays the majority of the games for MCC Miles to be in the playoffs. So I pick Sterling Strikers if Venkat is not playing.
Okay, you really think that one man can change the situation that much? Well, it'll be worth watching.
Yes, I mean, I think he does, but only thing is the main problem with that is he doesn't play too many games, and I think that is one of the reasons. Even though Sanjay has it on, there are a few players like Praneeth and Karthik Balu and few other players, but I think Venkat is one of the support they need. In the top middle, in the top order, so who can win the games for Miles?
Right. Viju?
I believe the Sterling Strikers that play elsewhere in other tournaments is far superior to this version of Sterling Strikers playing in DCL. I'm not sure what salad Mr. Saladi is going to serve, but assuming he gets Karthik Bopudi to come and Venkat Kongara to come and Sanjay Alangovan to play, I still think Karthik Bopudi is their best batsman in that lineup. I will go with MCC Miles on this one. I may live to regret this pick, but right now, preseason, that pick seems to make sense to me. So hopefully Mr. Saladi will give me a good salad.
Well, that is news. I did not know Karthik Bopudi had been added to MCC Miles. So that is good to know. Micah Thunderbirds versus Punjab Warriors. I frankly speaking, I don't have an opinion on this game. The only reason I don't know if this is the Micah that plays in Mishka as well, with some of the remnants from the TCA. Just for the heck of picking one, I'm just going to say Micah. But other than that, I have absolutely no solid reason unless you guys have one.
Yeah, for me, I think I'll go with the other. I'll go with Punjab Warriors. I see a couple of names which I recognize. Manpreet Singh being one of them. If he plays, I think they definitely have a
Yeah,
very good chance.
the Manpreet Singh you're thinking about is playing for GLCC, my friend.
Okay.
And there is an F40 clash, so I'm not sure he's going to be around.
Okay. So
I'm sure my F40 captain is going to make his damn best to make sure he plays there. So that's why I know it.
Yeah, so without him, I think it's pretty even. I would just go by gut feeling. I would still pick Punjab Warriors. Just because I like the name Warriors.
Okay.
Don't ask me why.
All right. Satya?
Micah. So
Okay.
both teams are same. I don't know both teams. So
Right. Gopu?
I'll go with Micah just to support my friend Pranish Ambati.
Pranish Ambati, right?
Yeah,
right.
he's as you said, pretty much most of the Micah from Mishka is against the playing in it. So I hope they have a good team to beat Punjab Warriors.
Avi, I know nothing about the two teams, absolutely nothing other than Pranish Ambati plays for Micah. So I'm going to resort to the children's rhyme, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, and Mo landed upon Thunderbirds, and I felt that Thunderbirds should be the team which should be going out. So my pick is Punjab Warriors, but mainly because I have a Sardar in my team, and I know that Sardar can hit the ball a mile. When he hits the ball lands outside the park. So I'm hoping that these Sardars, there's a whole bunch of Sardars in Punjab Warriors, they will do justification to the name Sardar, and they will really perform out of their park something close to what my Sardar guy performs day in and day out. Just because I have a good friend, a Sardar who can really hit the ball. For that reason, I'm picking Punjab Warriors.
Well, I know very well what your Sardar can do. I
And
stood on the
also,
boundary watching helplessly the ball sail 20 feet
Avi,
above.
I don't like this Thunderbirds and Thunderbolts and all these things. As far as I'm concerned, there is only one Thunder in the league, which is really thundering, and that is Indus Thunders. Everybody else is masquerading around to be Thunders, but they are not Thunders.
All right. Well, and then the next one for me, Canton 11 versus Gladiators. I have to say Gladiators. I genuinely believe Gladiators has enough firepower to put it past any other team in this league. So on their day, so I'm going to say Gladiators.
Yeah, I mean there's no brain. This is a no-brainer. I mean, Canton 11. I think they were building up in the last few years. I've seen them grow, seen them really play well. But again, they've lost a bunch of players. Javed was able to bring, the likes of I forget the bowler who is always in the top 10. Skips my mind. He's now, I think he's part of Brownstown now.
That's all right.
Yeah, but I think the loss of him, he used to control pretty much the entire game for them, and without him, I think they have no chance. So Glads for me.
I'm assuming 2 out of the other 3 are going to say Glads. So Gopu, what do you think?
Yeah, Glads all the way. But I do remember one game, if I'm not wrong, Glads versus Canton 11, maybe a couple of years back. It was a close game, and ultimately, I think Glads managed to win it. But this was one of the talks I had with Ronak U. Patel, and how he was describing about this game. So hope that doesn't repeat again, and Glads will win it quite
Gopu,
easily.
let me correct you. Close, when you say close game, I do not know what is close game. Glads won that game with bonus. So any game won with bonus is not a close game.
No,
my books.
when I meant close, I think it lost some almost 7 to 8 wickets.
The opponent somehow came close to not conceding a bonus point.
Javed runs a good ship. All right, let's give credit to Javed. Javed runs a good ship. Javed gets the maximum out of the team. It's not going to be a pushover game for Glads, but I do believe that if you had asked me 2 hours ago, we didn't even have 5 players. So if you ask me right now, yeah, we have 11 players. So I think when we have 11 players, I'll pick the Boom Boom Glads team. But no offense to Javed. Javed is an excellent man manager, and he does a good job. So I'll give him credit. He'll make a match out of it. So
well, I'd pick even a 6-man Glads to win most games.
I don't know about that one.
So it's I have been part of outfits where it's been an 8-man lads team. So it's
now I remember the guy. He was Raza Ali, if I
ah
remember.
okay.
That guy used
Yeah,
to single-handed.
Razali. I think he went to
Razali is a
Sterling
fantastic
Strikers.
player. Razali
Yeah,
is
he
a
went.
But
fantastic player.
he is with
He went to
Brownstone, isn't he?
No.
No.
He went to
Razali.
Sterling
See, now here is the
Sterling
problem,
Strikers.
guys.
Yeah, okay.
Nobody knows where. Anyway, it's okay. That's fine. I'll reserve it for another day. But Razali is a good player. Yes.
Right. Well, so now we come to the showcase game of the week, and we've had two of the two captains wait very patiently while we analyze the other games. So this one,
sincere apologies to both Vadnala and Vijay Shanmugam. First show, so we're still trying to figure things out. That they waited this thing, but probably in the future we have to cut short some of the things.
Right, but Dynamites versus FCC is what the analysts on this panel voted as the showcase game of the week, and we have the two captains here with us to butt heads with each other and maybe set the tone for what promises to be an exciting contest. So I'd like to start off since Venkat joined in first. Venkat, how is your team shaping up this year? You guys have obviously merged with FCC. You originally come from the Falcons side of things. So what do you have in store for the Dynamites?
Well, first and foremost, I think I'm happy to see Viju here. After a long time, I'm having a face-to-face chat with him. I mean, not just me or the committee or the league. I think everybody misses Zach, Viju. Glad to see you. And one thing I'll definitely say that I think we are heading in the right direction. I think, yes, as Viju mentioned in the beginning, that, kudos to Jagan, who actually brought in the talk show or the radio show, where we are actually talking what it used to be on a website on Glad's Cricket, or called EPP or Pool, or all the masala or the spice, whatever Viju calls it, was there. And everybody used to go there after the game, before the game, and was even afraid to not get into their talk shows because, if they win, well and good, they get kudos, pats, but if they lose, they get drained. So that was the days that we were all looking at. But now that transition to a talk show, a radio show, and now here we have a video show, which is very good to see all. And I think whenever we talk something, voice sometimes gives you a different sense and a feeling and a meaning. With the face, I think it gives a clarity. I think with the face and voice, and you're talking face to face to everybody, I think will definitely add a lot of value. So thanks to all the think tank here who had actually come forward and made this possible, and especially making it possible for the biggest year of DCL, which is the 25th year. Undoubtedly, I think we all need more energy, more, I think, I would say zeal, and everything that we can to make this season a successful season. So thanks to all of you, and thanks for having me this week.
Real pleasure, Venkat. So so back to the question, how is your team shaping up? Are you guys, what do you have in store for Vijay there, who I'm very pleased to see is wearing his Dynamites jersey? That is lovely to see. It's a great way to stand up for your team, Skipper. So Venkat, what do you think?
I don't have anything else. I need to do the washer. So this is the best I have.
Is that
man, Vijay, come on, man! At least once take the credit, man. I was really impressed that you came with the Dynamites jersey.
Is it Dynamites or Chennai?
It's Dynamites.
Okay.
Nah, the Chennai one looks a lot better. Nah, sorry. But go ahead, Venkat. Sorry,
yeah. So going back to the question, I think again. Hi to Vijay here. Good to have him also in the show. So going back to the question, I think FCC. I mean, the team name is FCC, but as you all know that when Hari Parankusham decided to go and form another team, a lot of I would say veterans in Falcons were left out and had no choice but to either dissolve the team or probably go and join some other team. And we were doing some thinking, and we come to know that FCC was also in the same boat, a sinking boat, I would say. I mean, not in the same level as we were, but they had all the youth, and we all we had a little bit of experience in the form of myself, Gauni, Sai, and Raghu Thadi. So I think we all thought maybe we can just have a merger here and then pull it off. And again, if you really see, I mean, it's not a team where I would like to say that, hey, this is going to go guns, but if you see Falcons with left out with FCC is a better team, and FCC with having few Falcons and the seniors in there is a better team. So I think it's a win-win situation. It's a no-brainer. So I think I fancy my chances again. Probably I think I would say most balanced team that I would ever playing, because I see a lot of youth and talent and a lot of my fellows who have a lot of experience for a decade, more than a decade.
I think one thing that can make these kind of mergers successful is the fact that you are not dependent on players from other leagues that would potentially have conflicts. Yes, you have probably a couple in there, but other than that, really, I think you should have most of your roster available to play on any given day. So, Vijay, how are Dynamites looking, and how do you look forward to taking upon this challenge?
Before that, I want to thank everybody here, and good to see DCL back. Good to see all the fresh faces and new faces, the old faces, but we have a young Viju here. So, so Dynamite, this will be the 10th year as Dynamite.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah. So I still look at the first game we played against Pokeries. It was called Detroit Pokeries, and I still show the scorecard. I was just sharing it with Ranjit, and he's like, "Oh, this was the first game we ever played." So long back, 10 years went past, but I think a lot. I have a lot of my friends, and as we just said, my second family is DCL for now. Last October, I got a job in Rochester. I still haven't moved out because of DCL. I got extra year of relocation just to play this year. So I love this sport. I love this community. I love this friends. So it's hard to go alone and be in a no man's land. I would rather commute. I travel once every week to Rochester from here. So I'm trying to manage work and kids and cricket, and so it's one of the things that keeps me going. So yeah,
if you want passion, that's passion. In today's two skippers, you have two guys with tremendous passion, and that's why the showcase game of the week makes so much sense, because both those guys bring so much passion to the league. And I would be wrong if I did not say at this point, one of the guys one of my most memorable times in my DCL career, if you ask me, was presenting Venkat Vadnala for
like a lifetime achievement award.
Lifetime achievement award. Thank you for this thing. Because I honestly know what the man brings to the table and the kind of work which he has done. I also think that Vamsi has done a phenomenal job, because it's not easy to make that decision. You know what? You're adding 9 Falcons players, all right, to the FCC team, and then handing over the skippership to Venkat Vadnala. That's not an easy thing. But if you ask me, that was the best decision Vamsi could have ever made, because what FCC has won a number of tournaments. They won Tana tournament a couple of times. They won Novi Cup. They have won FCC outdoor tournament a couple of times. But he had always one thing: either he had Venkat leading or he had me leading. So one thing which Vamsi has always done is, when he has won something, he always handed over the captaincy to somebody who knew what to do. And handing it over to Venkat, I know that Venkat might sometimes be hard. But think of it this way. I mean, whatever opinions I express, I say whatever is on my mind. I have no intentions or bad will towards anybody. But I just express what is on my mind. That's what you come to hear. And so that's what Venkat does. And so sometimes you may not like it. But you know what? If you want to become a better player, and if you want to achieve more as a team, you should be able to take criticism. A man who can't take criticism, he's never going to get better. And if you ask me, one of the best players on my team is a guy named Ronak Patel. The reason is that guy is always willing to learn. I always sit and criticize and say, hey, this you did not do well. You need to do this, or you need to do that. Nothing is taken personally. The idea is very simple. Do you want to become better? I can show you. I can't play like you, but I can make you better. And that's what Venkat brings to the table. And if you ask me, Vijay Shanmugam, There is no dynamites without Vijay Shanmugam. Let me tell you that. So when I think dynamites, dynamites is the house Vijay Shanmugam built. But he got a lot of help from a guy named Ramesh, and he has a fantastic player named Satish Shankara on his team. I feel bad for Shankara because he's probably one of the best openers DCL has ever seen. But this guy has been able to keep this thing, and look at the man's passion. You know, he's got a job and he's not moving. And if I know Vijay Shanmugam very well, next year he'll probably find a job in Detroit so that he can continue playing for DCL. But I'm so happy to see him. You know, I mean, that's what makes, you asked a question right at the beginning. What makes DCL different from everybody else? If you ask me, what really makes a league is not just coming and playing a few games. What really makes it and takes it to the next level is, can you build that passion off the field, wherein people are going to get excited to come on game day and perform? Because once you perform on game day, remember, Avi, you yourself said, when I wrote something good about you, you are able to take it and show it to your parents and to show it to all your loved ones.
Oh, absolutely.
That made you feel like $1 million.
Oh,
How
yes.
many other leagues do you have that? I'll give you an answer. The answer is 0. You go and hit a century. On that day, your teammates will say, good job, good job. After that, everything is forgotten. But here, that's not the case. We will sit and dissect everything. And we will, if you did well, we will give you the kudos. If you did well, be prepared for the criticism. If you can't handle the criticism, plug your ears, take a hike. It's as simple as that. But, yep. Anyway.
So Vijay, pluses, minuses, anything from your team? Any additions? Any people that have left, or what kind of squad are you bringing in? Not, you don't have to reveal your playing 11, but
yeah, pretty much kept the same squad with Suresh and Satish. You know, veterans coming back for one more chance to fight. Added some new pieces. We will have 2 brothers playing together on the opening game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So one I stole from Pokeries.
Who is the guy you stole from Pokeries?
Arun Saminathan.
Okay.
Right.
So, yeah, I remember.
Oh, so you're just referring to the 2 Aruns then?
No, his brother is actually coming here for the weekend, so he's playing.
Oh, so okay, so it is actually his brother. Okay, wow. Yeah. I know he has a brother in Kentucky or somewhere out of state. So
yeah, he's just coming over. So, and then we have Satish and his brother, Satish Sankara's brother, is here, moved to Detroit for a few months, so he's going to play. So
oh wow, so you guys are the Zimbabwe team, huh?
I know, exactly. That's a good point.
Wherever we can get help, you know. You know. So yeah, I think we kind of want to, you know, like try to mix both, you know, players who can be playmakers and also some experienced guys. So you know, we always, as you guys said, we always try to put a tight unit together, but on the end of the day, it's always that one point or one game that, you know, doesn't allow us to make the leap into the playoffs. So hopefully this year we think we have the right mixture. It's just like I need to juggle some things and make the mixture, make the biryani more spicy to serve. So that's what I'm working on. So.
Yeah, we were just talking about it, Vijay. You know, I mentioned that, you know, this is probably the best chance for Dynamites to get into the playoffs, looking at the pool. Do you feel that same way, looking at your pool?
Yeah, I think so, because again, you know, Parthu, I mean, looking at 3 years from now, there's so many changes in this team name. I can't even realize who is who. So I'm like, okay, just I know FCC because, you know, we know each other, but there are some teams which I don't even have heard of, but still they can be of a great challenge because there's a lot of young people coming into the league, a lot of fresh energy. You never know who's going to be the next superstar. So you have to play your best on any given day to get into playoffs. So, you know, it doesn't matter what it is.
So having said that, who on Venkat's team do you think is the man to watch out for?
Having played them in the Mission Cup, I think they have pretty strong unit. They have, you know, like Vamsi, they have Teju, right? Is that correct?
Teju and Tejas both.
Yeah, Tejas. So I mean, they are pretty good hitters, and I think the overall, if you look at Falcons, their strong core is still their strong core with Sai and Venkat Varnala's bowling, and yeah, I mean it's an overall round team with experience and FCC's hitting power. So I think getting if I say I think Vamsi will be the the guy
Okay.
to look for because.
And vice versa, Venkat, who do you think in the Dynamites lineup is worth watching out for?
Well, I think what Dynamites always brings is that they bring a lot of energy into the field, no matter who they are actually playing. That's what I've always seen in their team, and with the experience from whatever Vijay brings in, and along with his partner, he always, I mean, like Suresh, I mean to say, him and Suresh are always the frontliners and bring a lot of energy into the game. And I think they have a very good batting depth. And I think that the two all-rounders, if I remember the names, Arun and Karthik, I think they are the more key players or the backboners for every win they have got so far. And I think that those are the two players that I will be watching for.
Great. Well,
Sorry,
so having said,
I just had a quick question. Once when Vijay is saying Vamsi, which Vamsi is he talking about?
I just wanted to make sure I'm spelling the right name. Give me 1 second.
No, I think he meant Teju and Tejas both.
Yeah.
I believe.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, all right. Because Vamsi
Yeah,
KK
Vamsi-
moved to another this thing. So
Yeah,
I'm
He's playing for Legends.
Vamsi Kanakan is moved to Legends. Yeah.
Legends.
Venkat, I saw Vijay Matta in your squad. Is he going to play?
Yeah, he will be playing for us. But again, as you know, he will be out of state. So whenever he gets a chance, he will be driving, and hopefully, he will find more opportunities, and he can find a job in Michigan. That's what he's been looking for a long time. So,
Venkat, I want to put you on the hot spot, Venkat. I have a quick question for you. If you had to pick only one player from Dynamites and you wanted to add it to your FCC team, who would you add?
I would add Karthik.
Karthik, there are two Kartiks, Tinur or Karthik. There are two Kartiks there.
I think it's Karthik Tinunar.
Yeah, Tinanur, I believe, is the one you're referring to.
Yeah, Tinanur is, who's actually, a very decent bowler and also a decent batsman. He's a pretty good all-rounder, I would say. And if I have to pick somebody who would, if you say only one, then yeah, he would be the one.
Okay, same question to you, Vijay. If you had to pick one player from the FCC team, the current FCC team, all right, who would you pick and why?
I always go with my old friend Sai Nath. He's I known Sai for a long time, and he brings in a lot of energy and passion into the team. I think we need that in any game situation. So I like Sai Nath, so I'm going to pick him.
I think it's not just you, but there are a lot of other teams who like Sai Nath. Did we lose everybody, or what happened?
No, I believe he's just started sharing. So we have everybody still. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So at that point, I'd like to, I guess, lay it out on the table. Obviously, the two captains aren't going to vote for the other team. That'd be treason of the highest order. But for me personally, just having seen the squads and yes, Dynamites have a very good squad, but my hunch is that FCC have it in them to put it past Dynamites this weekend. But I'd be very happy for Dynamites to prove me wrong. But I want to throw my hat into the FCC lot. How about the rest of you?
I'll go with my friend Vijay. I'll support him. I'll go with Dynamites. I think they might create an upset very early on as FCC still settles down. So it's going to be tricky, especially when you form a new team with so many people. It's always tricky to get the right combination. So this might be a good chance for Vijay to get on the board.
Very good.
I'll be going with FCC. So I'm going with Venkat. So with the experience, I hope he can easily pull this game out.
Right, Sandeep.
Venkat being the captain, and I think experience plus young blood, which makes FCC more stronger. I think I'll go with FCC. Though Dynamites is a very good team and opposition for FCC this week, but I will pick FCC for this game.
Right.
If you ask me, Avi, great game on the cards for showcase game of the week. I think this is a fantastic opportunity for both these teams to bring their A game, because this is a critical game in this thing. Because you win, you not only are taking your close competitor, but you're pushing them one game down and you're pushing yourself one game up. And I think both teams will bring their A game. I honestly believe that Vijay Shanmugam will have to be General Patton, and he'll have to give an awe-inspiring speech if Dynamites are to pull this one out. But last I checked, there is one man named Venkat Vatnala whose name is on that DCL Cup. And last I checked, Venkat Vatnala is one of the best skippers in DCL. And that's why I was very happy to see his name as the skipper of the new FCC team. And if you ask me, he rarely misses a trick in the book. You give him a tiny, tiny opening, and that man will drive a Mack truck through that tiny opening, and he will ram it through and he will blast it through. So for that reason, as much as I like my friend Vijay Shanmugam, I am going to pick FCC and Venkat Vatnala to pull this one out.
But I can already see the determination on Vijay's face to disprove the 4-1 prediction against Dynamites. But lovely to have you both skippers talk up the game and talk about your squads here tonight with us. And go well, both of you. Our best wishes. And go ahead and just picking you guys as the showcase game and entertain all of us. With that, I believe we have come to the end of the first primetime show. I see Satya has put up a slide that lists that provides the option for viewers' questions. Satya, are we marking some time for any viewers to call in, or do we wrap it up here?
Yeah, they can call in with the Zoom meeting ID and the passcode. So
all right.
Yeah, we will be letting them in so they can ask their questions to captains, guests, or to any of the analysts.
And maybe we should have, this is just for future purposes, maybe we should have advertised this a little earlier so that people know that they can dial in with that meeting number and the glads. At this point, I'm not sure how many people are going to do it, but this would have been a great opportunity for people to dial in and ask question to the showcase game of the week captains, or to any of the analysts who are here, or even the guest of the night. I think it's a great opportunity, but I think we mistimed it. And I think we honestly should be advertising this all along through this thing, that, at the end of this thing, you can dial in and ask questions. Because how often do you get a chance to ask a question to Venkat Vatnala or to Vijay Shanmugam, especially when they are playing the showcase game of the week? I mean, if I had the opportunity, I would like to avail that opportunity. But I'm not sure if we're going to get any calls. But if we do, we'll be happy to this thing. But maybe we can speak for 5 minutes, give closing thoughts or something, Avi, to close it out. But if some questions come in, then we can answer that question, I guess.
I agree. I think, yes, it would be lovely to, and I'm very sure we have a bunch of viewers out there that are eagerly watching this show. So it'd be great to have any of them call in and voice their opinions or ask their queries. Other than that, personally speaking, I think I'm very, very excited to get this show rolling. It's been an exciting wait while we have threshed out this idea and the format. Please bear with us while we iron out any glitches, technical or personal, while we try and establish a certain pattern for the show. We want to try and keep it as entertaining as possible. Our job is to add to the excitement that this game, this beautiful game that we all play, that already brings to us. So our goal is to try and analyze all these games, talk about the characters involved, get you guys involved, and make this league even greater than what it is currently. And I'm very sure that we can only portend greater things for the Detroit Cricket League. 25 years and counting, this promises to be an absolute cracker of a season. And I, for one, am completely excited, both as a player and as a commentator or an analyst, to be watching these amazing cricketers, and most of whom I have the pleasure of counting as friends, to see them in action. It is a lot of fun. And trust me, I'm sure you guys will join in the fun.
So Avi, since you don't have any viewers or with any questions, so I myself would like to take that opportunity and ask a question to all your analysts. I mean, being me myself as an analyst too, I would love to hear the other analysts think about it.
Yes.
And
please.
if you ask anybody or if you ask any analyst, I think if they predict on day one before a ball is bowled, and if they predict the winner, and if that happens to be true, and if their prediction was correct, and I think that goes a long way by saying, how good of an analyst he is, right? So I would like to take this opportunity and ask all 4 of you or 5 of you, say who is going to be winning the 25th year of DCL? Who do you think is going to win the 25th year of DCL? And if you have to only pick one team.
Excellent question, Venkat.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal question. And I'd say I am still, well, considering I'm part of a team myself on the league, but I personally think the strongest contenders this year are the Gladiators for me.
For me, I think apart from obviously strikers being one of them, if strikers don't win, I don't win, then I think my second bet or second support or the team I always support is GLCC. So I would love for them to win the series, this season, the 25th year. But if you ask me, like my brain tells me it's going to be another Thunder's year.
Oh, okay.
For me, it's no brainer. It's going to be Glads, but we say it's not. We have Indus, so it's either one of the teams should be there. Yeah.
Right, if I need to pick apart from my team, definitely I would pick GLCC. But I'm, I mean, I am pretty sure like we try our best to win the cup as well again. But if I have to choose another team, it would be GLCC.
All right. Viju?
If I had to pick, I'm going to pick Gladiators. I honestly feel that what many other teams do not have is we have 1 through 11 guys who can bat. We probably are the best batting team in DCL. I think I'll concede that Thunders are the best bowling team in DCL. But historically, I think what made Megabytes so great was their bowling. And historically, bowling wins championships. And so if Glads don't do it, I do believe that Indus Thunders will repeat and become the first team to repeat as champions since Megabytes. But I can assure you, every Gladiator is going to try their level best and stand on their heads to make sure that that does not happen. I honestly believe that if I had to pick, I'll bet all my money in my wallet on Glads, putting it down. And I also have history to repeat that, because last time Gopu won the cup, immediately following Glads won the cup. And this time I'm hoping that 2019, well, Gopu won the cup. So we came and then
but would you remember 2020 didn't happen, so maybe
I know.
It's a fresh start for everyone.
So 2021 we want to come back with interest, Gopu.
No, I agree. I mean, that's a good analysis, and yeah, I think I just wanted to make sure that 25th year is kind of a first season because of the 2020 season didn't happen. So I just feel like 25th year is kind of a first season again to make sure like we're starting up DCL again.
Well, and it would be a phenomenal occasion to do an encore, right, Sandeep? So it's clearly one of the teams to look out for. So having set the cat among the pigeons, Venkat, who would you pick?
Well, I think that's a tough question, and I know how hard it is to answer that kind of question, especially when you're representing a good team, like Glads, two from Glads, one from Thunders, one from Pokeries, one from Strikers. I mean, again, I would say that hands down, everybody would pick their own team first, because otherwise, there's no point.
Oh, of course, right.
Right. So, but I mean, if you see as an analyst, and if you think that who is good on the paper and who is good at managing, or who is good at winning when it matters, I mean, I think I would say probably Glads, if I have to pick one, because there are a lot of good brains behind their team, and they've always come flourishing. But if you see all these years, I mean, if they had lost or didn't win the championship, is because they played poorly in one game or one playoff game. And I think that's the whole thing. So, but again, if we as an analyst not see that part, and I think if I have to pick somebody, then I would probably pick Glads.
Right. To me personally, it's just they are just the team to beat in a final. So it's
don't underestimate the champions, which is Indus Thunders again. Deepak Raj Giriyappa and the recent Praveen Bangera, I think, will add a lot of things to it, and then you cannot underestimate them. So I think it's always a toss between Thunders and Glads, and if they have to come into the finals, and I think we have to pick somebody. And there are so many other teams like GLCC, Samish. I mean, they have added a lot of good players this year, and you cannot underestimate them too. So it could be anybody's game. I mean, it's easy for us to one team would win, but it all matters on one particular day who is best, and that happens to be in a playoff game when you have a do or die situation. So it could go any way. But we all as an analyst have to see who has the potential.
Right. Well, a Glads versus Indus game obviously is a spectacle that we'd all love to watch. So, albeit as a knockout game or otherwise. So, yes, that's definitely a salivating prospect. Vijay, I'm not sure we got your thoughts on who do you think is the likely champion in this 25th year. Any thoughts?
Sorry, a lot of noises. My twins are here, so bear with me. I think hold on. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's always going to be tough, right? Picking up front right now, but going with history, what Glads and Indus has accomplished, I think that will be a good finals to have. I also like the Blasters team that we just reviewed. There can be a potential for them to make some noise there. There are some experienced team too. So yeah, I mean, again, if I want to pick, I think I will always go with my friend Viju. So always a fan favorite, fan following team. So go with the mass.
Great. Well, and that.
Okay. Well, while I have those two guys, whom both Venkat and Vijay, this is just in the interest of the show. Can you tell us how we can improve the show?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that way we want to become better, and unless we are willing to approach things the right way, we'll never become better.
And this goes for the guys that are guests tonight as well as the viewers. If you guys are still on, I know it's been a slightly longer show, but please feel free to send in your feedback on how we can improve. Make it shorter, probably, I anticipate.
I think maybe the content can be a little bit cut down and focus mainly on like analysis of the games. Give some positive feedbacks, winning or losing, right? It doesn't matter, but give some positive feedback on what areas teams can improve based on your expertise, and also make it like a rapid fire round. Mix it up, right? I mean, nobody wants to listen the same thing, right? So if there is an agenda, people will be like, oh, I know. It's 9:30 and I can turn it on. So if we can mix it up a little bit, it brings a little bit more, focus to the show and and the content. So keep the content high, value high.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Satya, can you do some graphics and stuff? Since you're the techie here.
Let me try. So, yeah, I'm trying my best. Let me see. Yeah, I tried a couple of things, but with Zoom, few things are not going well together.
Right.
So,
Understand.
yeah.
Well, Venkat and Gopu, if you guys have any comments to make.
Well, I think you should just do what you like to do, and I think
Right.
if you see you have a particular audience, right? I mean, who is
Right.
going to come here, like to hear you party with you, right? I mean,
Right.
if you have to cut down yourself or deviate yourself, then there's no fun in there. I mean, I think you have to be just yourself.
Right.
Don't look at the time, just go into the discussion, keep doing what you're doing, and I think they will not mind to stay for another half hour or an hour. But I think, yes, I mean, this is just your first week. I mean, it's going to take a few weeks for you to get adjusted to on how to actually be in the exact times. So I think that's fine. But I can tell that, the audience that you will have is what they like to hear is more
Right.
spicy talk. And I
Absolutely.
think that's what you need to do.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, Venkat, that's why I became the color analyst. I decided not to host and have passed on the hosting to Avi was for a simple reason. I felt nobody will have the guts to speak very honest conversation as much as I probably can do it. So that's why I moved to the color analyst.
You're sitting in India, so I mean, I think you got a better chance. I mean, I'm not saying that you're saying you're doing that because you're in India, but I mean, you've always been that. I mean, you always talk on their faces. So I think this is a perfect show for you.
Great.
Gopu?
Yeah, I think pretty much like on the cut short of the time, I agree, but it doesn't have to be really focused on the time. Rather than, I believe, one topic or one interesting thing every week if possible, or at least 1 month analysis, like maybe every 4 weeks, bring up a nice spicy topic to discuss, or a guest who can kind of like entertains in one way, as well as like questions on the team who plays the other week, and challenges, something like that. Maybe like bringing up some sort of spicy topic would
Suggest a spicy topic.
I will suggest soon. I don't have it in mind.
Yeah, I think
I will.
no, I
But
think
I will
in
definitely
terms of
suggest, yeah.
spice, I think we can bring it up from the week, right? So next week the matches happen. I'm sure there will be some moments we can actually take it up from
Absolutely.
there.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I think other than that, I think rest of the show was really good. Firstly, this is a video call. Audio, talking on audio is very different than turning on your cameras and talking. So that
Right.
itself is a great achievement. So
Thank
kudos to all of you guys hosting the show in the first week, and irrespective, it might go with 2 hours or 3 hours, but everybody's passionate and be on the call. That means everybody is looking forward for this show. So I think, just like by bringing up the agenda up front and trying to wrap up on few things which take a little longer, and just focusing on some of the things which viewers might be interested in. I'll definitely propose something to Satya on thoughts I have on any of the topics that I feel. And it's not only just Viju, Satya, who's kind of like brought it up, but we all feel like this is a DCL show where everybody has to support to make this a big success along with the DCL radio. And not to forget DCL radio from Jagan, who started off with the audio. So that gave a boost up for this show is what I felt. I think absolutely both needs to go in one way stronger. And I think everybody has to support both the shows.
Absolutely, I believe so. Yes, and I believe there is room for both shows, and we can be actually complementary to
That
each
was
other.
the main reason we kept on Wednesday instead of Thursday, where DCL
Right.
Thursday. So
yeah, where we,
or maybe we can have a topic on DCL radio and prime time one time as a big
the next show.
Yeah, I think we can combine both in 1 week, maybe sometimes, and have the spice added up more in terms of how we usually talk for a political party in everywhere. So kind of a debate that would be making more interesting is one of the topics I can think of right now.
Okay, great. Well, we will certainly take that into account. So at this point in time, I'd just like to say thank you so much to our guests for joining us today, Sandeep, Venkat, as well as Vijay. We look forward to a great weekend to kick off the season. And to my fellow analysts, thank you very much for taking the time and we hope to have more and more fun as we go on. And I'd also like to thank all our viewers for tuning in today. For those of you that are old enough to have watched the Batman TV series, we hope that you will join us again next week. Same prime channel, same prime time is how they used to finish that show. Well, they used to say same bat time, but I chose the word prime. So we look forward to having you join us next week. Thank you very much. Good night. Take care and stay safe, all of you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Adios.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.